Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I am your host, Tiffany Daniels. Now, we are doing another segment today of That Word Doesn't Mean What You Think It Means. I'll go over the updates of what's going to be coming up this Monday here towards the end of the video. Now, this word is being brought to you once again directly from the trial for approval of the application to appeal the UK verdict in Depp versus NGN. And the definition today, as always, is coming from Merriam-Webster.com. As always, just for giggles, we're going to make sure to put that link for you right in the description of this video. And again, this is brought to you by NGN lawyer Sasha Wass. Alright, so according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, the definition of feisty is full of nervous energy, fidgety, touchy, quarrelsome, exuberantly frisky, having or showing lively aggressiveness, spunky, or like the movie's Feisty heroine. Okay. So, what we are talking about here is, well, maybe somebody a little bit like me, but the go-getters, so to speak. Those of us who will go out there and fight for what we believe in, things of that nature. I've been called feisty more than just a few people. I've also been called a little bit of a spitfire. But anyways, we've gone over the definition. Now let's talk about how Ms. Wass used that term incorrectly during the proceedings from a couple of days ago. When in reference to the audios, where AH references herself as physically assaulting JD. I'm sure we all remember the quote. I don't remember the actual motion of my hand, but I was hitting you, not punching you. This part was referred to by Ms. Wass as feisty. Now, according to that definition that we just read, tell me, does it fit? No, it doesn't. You can't basically equate physical violence with feistiness. Feistiness is an attitude. It is an approach. It's that willingness to fight. But that doesn't mean necessarily getting into physical fights. For example, if the roles were reversed and it was a male on the audio stating the following, I don't know what the actual motion of my hand was, but I was hitting you, not punching you. And if the male's lawyer saying, well, he was just being feisty, do you think most feminists or anyone who is a DV victim's advocate would agree with that definition? Absolutely not. The pitchforks would be out and it would be called what it is. Abuse. Why is it when a female does these actions, such as slapping a man, hitting a man, pushing a man, calling a man names, why is that called feistiness and being a spitfire on a female's behalf? But when a man does these things, it's called abuse. There's a double standard here. And it goes back to preconceived notions about women being weak little things who could never really physically hurt a man. But we live in the 21st century, and we live in a century of equalizers. as well as live in a century where men are taught from an early age that no matter what the female does to you, you are not in any way to physically retaliate. So, from reading this definition, my conclusion is what she did to JD is not out of feistiness. Like, feistiness might be putting too much hot sauce in something. It might be pulling a prank, for example. Physically attacking and assaulting someone. Physically throwing things. Hitting people. Putting cigarettes on people's faces. That is not the actions of someone simply being a cutesy word like feisty. If you use words like that in reference to such actions, what you're trying to do is downplay the actions to something a little cute and spicy. If it's not cute, and it is not spicy, and it is not feisty. It is abuse. The same way as if we were to reverse the situation and a man did it to a woman, it would not be considered feisty. It's going to be called abuse. We are beginning to live in this make-believe world where people aren't really fighting for equality anymore. You have people fighting for power over other people. Well, I come from the land of logic, which says 2 wrongs don't make a right, 2 negatives do not make a positive. We can't just simply call behaviors like this by females feistiness. Simply because we have these archaic ideas that women are weak little wallflowers who can never really cause real damage to someone. Not in the world of equalizers, when we're talking about weapons and women who are being trained to fight, or women who grew up in bar fights their whole life, okay? Okay? If we're going to go for a truly equal society, we cannot have one standard for men and one standard for women. As the old saying goes, equal rights, equal consequences. Which means, if you engage as a female in the exact same actions as a male in regards to abuse, we should not have the right to simply rename it as feistiness. Abuse is abuse. Is abuse. Is abuse. And we should not be confusing these words simply because the person engaging in these actions is a female, not a male. We also got into this whole idea of feistiness of, well, she didn't hit him too hard. Again, I'll return. If that had been a man who was being called feisty for such actions, and oh, he didn't hit her that hard, there would be an outcry and pitchforks and torches. There would be. Until we can elevate violence against men to the same level as violence against women, we are never going to be an equal society. Until consequences are equal on both sides, there will be no equality. So, folks, if you truly believe that a woman who doesn't know what motion her hand was, but she was hitting you, not punching you, is her being feisty, instead of what it actually is, which is abuse, then I hate to tell you this, but that word doesn't mean what you think it means. Alright, before we close out of here, I promised I was going to give you a few updates of what you should be expecting on Monday. Monday, I'm going to give you a trigger warning right now. We are going to be doing a reaction video and going in depth into the Judge Rotenberg case. We're going into an 18-minute compilation that's been circling YouTube for at least 9 years or so. That goes over all the news pieces and the actual video footage of when Andre McCollins was shocked over 31 times on a 4-point board. This is the actual video of the incident. It's going to be very hard to watch. I do say you absolutely need to. You need to understand what took place there, but I do want to caution you to kind of just steel yourself for what you're going to hear and what you are going to see, because it truly is the stuff of nightmares. Also coming up, we are going to be having a little chat about Rain Man, and basically we are going to be going over some information about the gentleman who the character of Rain Man was based off of, and why we should not be using it in regards to how to identify people with autism. We're also going to be taking a look at the new judge over the Virginia case in some detail as well. Just going over a little bit of her background. There should also be more in-depth videos coming up as well in regards to the trial that we all witnessed just a couple of days ago. Now, we are still having our 200 subscriber challenge. Remember, folks, we get up to 200 and Spilling Tea for the first time ever, we'll go ahead and do live stream, proper lighting or no proper lighting. So please share these videos out there. Send it to all your social media. Bring in your friends. There's a lot going on out there in the world that people need to be made aware of. Alright. Now, folks, we don't get many views on this channel. So, if you could, please hit that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. As we get close to 200 subscribers, I would like to hear from you all either in the comments or in the DMs on Twitter. I am the Lady Autist at the Autist Lady. Let me know what you would like to see discussed during that live. Now, I do appreciate your afternoon, folks. I do hope you have a very wonderful first day of spring. I will be seeing you about 3 o'clock Central Standard, 4 Eastern Standard, over on Rob's Rules live stream here in a little bit. So please come over there and say hi. I do hope all of you have a good one. Bye-bye.